94.
Oh no, it dropped.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Alright, 93. That's right. Not my best. Not my best. Who got, what was that?
I got 50.
50. Okay, so Sophie is probably the real winner out of all of you guys. Did anyone else get in the 40s? What did you get, Maddie? 44. Okay. 44. Alright. Shut your laptops for a moment. We'll have those back later. Just keep them on your desk, okay? But what I want to talk about today is have your books out for me. We are talking about speed. And speed, if you think about it, right, is something very related to what we were just doing. When we were looking at speed, we were looking at how fast can you type? How fast can you type? What was the way we described how fast we typed just then? There was a words per minute. If you think about words per minute, what's another way we can think about that? Well, that's just a rate. Word, literally, yeah. And this word per, what's another way you can write per? We could write as a slice, that's right, so. Words per minute. That is a way which we can describe how fast we typed, the words per minute, right? But if we talk about speed, we usually use some other kind of units. We're not talking about typing. What are we usually talking about? When we talk about speed, where do we kind of use that? Driving, right? Driving is a great place we describe speed. What's a common way, a common unit for driving? We talk about kilometers per hour, right? That's a common unit or rate for speed. What about if we're talking about ourselves as individuals though? Like, I don't really talk about how fast I can go in kilometers per hour. If you're a sprinter or a runner, does anyone know what you usually talk about? Meters. Meters per second, that's right. Yeah, especially if you're a sprinter, right? So Usain Bolt, for example. I think he did 100 meters in about 8 seconds or something like that, right?
No, he does it in 9.3.
9.3, is it? Okay. Yeah. So let's come back to this. How would you describe what speed is?
Motion.
Speed is motion. Do you like that definition? Speed kind of describes your motion, right? It describes how fast you're going, I guess. Okay. Is that what you kind of meant? Yeah. Yeah? All right. Yeah.
Never mind.
It's not easy, right? Here's how I describe it. Speed is a rate of distance. Speed is a rate of distance per unit of time. Jot that down for me. Speed is a rate of distance per unit of time. We also have an actual way of calculating a formula for speed. We actually have a way of calculating formulas for speed, right? So as an example, if I'm looking at 120 kilometers over 2 hours, what's your speed in that instance? Yeah, Manix.
You're doing 60 kilometers an hour.
And see how you just kind of intuitively say that? How did you actually do that?
So I wanted to find it per hour.
Yeah.
Because that's the normal one. So it's 2 hours. So you divide it 120 divided by 2, and then 2 divided by 2.
Yeah. So that gives me 60 kilometers per hour, right? What you guys have actually done here, and we looked at this with rates, you've actually intuitively gotten the formula for speed. This is our formula for speed. Speed is equal to distance over time. Speed is equal to distance over time. That's one way we can understand how to calculate speed. If I have a distance, so for example, this one in 120 kilometers, and I have the time it takes to do that, 2 hours, I can find my speed, or the average speed, right? So 60 kilometers per hour. But what we're going to look at today is that we can actually think about finding other pieces of information. What happens if I give you the speed and I want to find the time? Or what happens if I give you the distance and I want to find some other variable, right? In order to do that, we're going to have to think about that a bit more. But let's try these speed questions just to jog our memory, right? So jot these down for me. Again, many different ways we can approach these problems. But what I want to encourage you to do is using this kind of definition of speed, it's going to help you be more comfortable with using these formulas when we want other pieces of information, right? So for example, we've got our cyclist traveling 140 kilometers in 5 hours. So I know my distance, that's going to be 140. My time is 5 hours. So my speed, or my average speed, I can just put that all together. My speed is going to be my distance over time, 140 divided by 5. And calculate that for me. 28. Do you like that? Okay, so with our speed, it's really important that we're thinking about the units we're given, right? The units we're given are very important because generally we want to express these in a unit that we usually use. So for this one over here, speed, kilometers per hour, generally, right? So our answer is 28 kilometers per hour. Okay, so 28 is kind of like a value, but we want to express this as a speed. It should be a rate. So 28 kilometers per hour is the rate that we have. For our next one, Isaac, what is our distance and time?
3 kilometers is the distance.
Yep.
15 minutes.
So every time I see something like this, I'm just going to kind of label that just to make that really clear, okay? So here's my speed now. I'm looking at 3 over 15. 3 over 15. Can you calculate that for me, Nick? 0.2. Now, like I said, be very careful with our units, right? It's very easy to look at this as a formulaic kind of approach. Can anyone tell me what kind of units are we dealing with here? Right, so this one's different, isn't it, right? Before we had hours, and now we have minutes. What is this saying? Well, if I have a value of 0.2 here, I'll look at the 2 units I'm given. I've got kilometers, I've got minutes, okay? So what you've just found is actually 0.2, I don't know why I changed colors. 0.2 kilometers per minute, because that's what the units you've been given in, okay? But generally we don't talk about things necessarily per minute, okay? So we could either look at seconds or we can look at hours as well, right?
Do you not simplify that?
Yeah, well, how could I simplify that?
You change it to meters.
I could change that to meters, yeah, that's one way I can do it, yeah. So sometimes in a question they may specify certain units they want you to use, okay? This one they haven't specified, but generally we kind of want to make it a bit nicer. What if I wanted to find it per hour? What do I do with that? Yeah, go.
Times by 6.
That's exactly what you want to do, because you've got 1 minute here, you want 60 minutes, which is an hour. So if we multiply this by 60, what are we going to get? Can you find that out for me? Marissa, can you calculate? Find it out for me. 0.2 times 60. 12. 12 what? Kilometers per 60 minutes or hour.